What's up, student body? It's your professor here, Professor Nick Mladinovich. And just gonna catch up to date on some logistics and admissions policy of my university and how we rank on the global scaling compared to U of T and the other top universities in Canada. One thing we are focused on here is, unlike if you scroll to U of T, because I went to U of T for nearly 12 years, the first thing you're going to see is them bragging about themselves. There's two things that the University of Toronto cares about more than anything else in the world. How they look amongst its peers on the global scale. They want to be Harvard, they want to be MIT, they want to be Yale, they want to be Columbia, they want to be all the best tops. They will not shut the fuck up about how they are ranked top 4 in the world, top 30th in North America, top 12 in eco-sustainability. They will keep promoting this shit down everybody's throat over and over and over and over and over again. And why do they do this? Is because they want money. They want investors to invest in their university so they can get a building named after them. And they want more students in the student body. Now, let me tell you, I went there for 12 years. Did I get the supports to make it and the education that it deems to be that high level, where the staff and the teachers at that level, did they care that much about their students to be ranked number 4 in the world, which is what they promote? I went there for 12 years. And I can tell you with a resolute no. They were not top. It was basically the only thing that sets it apart from other universities in Canada is that it's difficult. And it's not fucking hard to be difficult. Just put more quantity on the test. Instead of this is what I was told by students that attended U of T from other universities prior. All they do is double and triple the amount of questions on the test. So instead of 1 question on a quiz, you get 5. And instead of the class average being 80%, the class average is 60%. And they openly discuss this, that they want the class average to be 60%. So it like tests the students and teaches you to work hard and shit like that. But it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. What they really want is money from investors, and they double and triple the price of tuition of anybody else in Canada. There are no homegrown students in U of T. Why is this? Because they get 2 and 3 times the tuition fees for international students. So if you go to U of T, half your class won't even speak English. And everybody knows this. They call it Little Chinatown. It's Chinese, Indian, Pakistan, Iranian. They're smart, gifted students. But if you come from Toronto, you are not going to be amongst Canadians. So if you think University of Toronto is a Canadian university and has Canadian pride, that is nowhere near the case. Look at the names of the buildings. Not a single Canadian is named on the buildings. It's fucking foreigners who want to invest their money and get a building named after them. Billionaires, financial millionaires, and billionaires. Because U of T, University of Toronto, which says they're the number 1 ranked university in Canada, is a for-profit tuition school. Let me tell you a little story. First of all, I got kicked out. Why? Because I have a disability and I have mental health diagnosis. And I sent an email and I got arrested because of it. They didn't even talk to me face to face. They didn't even talk to me by email or by phone or anything like that. I did not hear from the president. I did not hear from the student council. I did not hear from anybody. The only person I heard from when I sent a couple of emails was the police, who showed up at my door and arrested me. And then I had to pay for a lawyer. I had to go through mental health diversion. I had to go through the courts. I had to go through the hospital system. I had to get all these letters of recommendations so I could be allowed back into the university under accommodations. That's what happened. Because they don't give a fuck. They just want their money. And that's it. If you drop out, you're another statistic to them. They don't give a fuck. They want their money. But they don't want you dropping out because they want to be ranked number fucking top dick in North America of global rankings. That's all they give a shit about. So, they don't want you dropping out because they don't want their dropout rate to be high, So, now how did I graduate? It took me 11 years under accommodations to graduate, but I graduated because of my own hard effort. Once again, I got reprimanded time and time again. I was the first person to show up to the lab. The lab starts at 9 a.m. I'm there at 7 a.m. Why am I there at 7 a.m.? Because I have a mental disability and I cannot stand in a public transit that is packed like sardines, which is what Toronto Transit is. It's severely underdeveloped at the most in the entire world. You're trapped like sardines and there's delays and everything. So I physically cannot do that. I had a physical condition, mental condition and a physical condition where I cannot sit still like that for 40 minutes on the public transit. So I needed to go an extra 1.5 to 2 hours early to avoid the public rush, which is what I did. As soon as the transit opens, I'm on the train, I get to the university. And there's a student lounge. I go in the student lounge and I read my book. I read a book in the student lounge, 7 a.m. Now, of course, I did it with 4 hours of sleep because I still have more conditions affecting me. So I could only sleep for 4 hours a night. So I show up to these laboratories with 4 hours of sleep. I'm the first person student there, 2 hours early every single day, dressed nice, all my materials there. Now, once again, I'm a slow worker. We have 3 hours to do the lab, but I'm a slow worker. And I was paired up in a group of 3. So the other two, it's supposed to be groups of 2, but I was paired up in a group of 3. And of course, the professors didn't want to fucking hear any of this, and I told them all of this, but he doesn't give a shit. So I was in a group of 3, supposed to be a group of 2. Because there were 3 of us, I was the one documenting the results and organizing the work, and they were the ones hooking up the wires. Now, we're fucking electrical engineers. We're not electricians. You know who hooks up wires? Electricians. But the bitch-ass pussy TAs, these were the 2 biggest bitches in the entire university. All they did was talk stocks and fucking weigh 400 pounds. Some 2 Indian fucks, Iranian fucks. I don't know who the fuck they were. But they wrote a letter to the professor saying they wanted to kick me out the class, saying I was negligent. They didn't talk to me anything about this. They didn't talk to me at all. I don't know where the fuck this email came from. And in the bottom of the email saying, we know you have mental health conditions. Please seek help if you are in an emergency. They wrote that in the email that they sent to me saying they want to kick me out the fucking lab. These 2 Iranian fucks who are stupid as fucking nonsensical. That's U of T. That's U of T for you. Now I spoke with the professor. I didn't reply with an angry email. I went to the deans, to the registrar office, to my advisor, and I told her what happened. And she told me we're going to speak with their professor when class reopens on Monday. And I did that. And so I was given a chance. And again, I just showed up once again, first person there. And the wiring, I did it by myself this time. I got 10 out of 10 on the next lab. They moved me to a different group, which was a slower working group, so I could actually do shit. So I got 10 out of 10 on that. Then they checked my midterm results, which were written before this occurred. And my midterm was higher than average results. So I was an above average student, and they wanted to kick me out the lab for having a mental health condition and being in a group of 3. And they did not talk to me. It was the most unprofessional, fucking authoritarian, diminutive thing that could have ever happened. So they kicked me out of the school. Then this shit happens once I'm back in. It's a fucking piece of shit school because they only care about their reputation. There was no support for the student. They didn't treat me like a human being. I had to literally tell him, listen, I'm fucking 28 years old. I was 28 years old at the time. Not a 21-year-old student, not a 20-year-old student, not a 19-year-old student like the rest of the class. You cannot treat me like a fucking teenager. I'm a 28-year-old student at the fucking class. You need to talk to me in person when you have these fucking issues. Look how fucking childish they are. how childish they are. Both the 65-year-old professor and the two Iranian fucks who talk stock market and don't know anything about the stock market either. Because hello, look who's here. If you're talking about the stock market, I'm not gonna get into that. They're gonna probably lose their money on crypto or some shit, and that's the fucking shit show that is the University of Toronto. So, the better option for you is to attend Mladineering Tech. And Mladineering Tech, we want you to succeed. We don't want you to be a statistic. We don't go for world number one rankings. We don't want millionaire investors. We don't fucking parade around like a bunch of fucking pussies. We want you to be educated. The acceptance level is not going to be 5% homegrown Canadians and 95% foreigners who are willing to pay millions of dollars to attend our university. And the admission rate is not going to be required you to get a 100% average to attend our university. We want you to come uneducated. We want you willing to learn. We want you to make a change in your life. We want to support you so you can go from someone who knew little to someone who knew an extraordinary amount based on our work. That's where we get our pride from. Not from statistics, investments, and global rankings and accepting the 100 grade GPA students and having a low dropout rate and hiring a bunch of foreign professors. That's not where we pride ourselves in. We pride ourselves in teaching you. So you come with little knowledge, we educate you. We provide you with the resources. We let you learn yourself. That's where we get our pride from. For being an education system, an educative intuition. Okay, that's where we get our pride from. Let me tell you another story. After I graduated from U of T, I knew I still had mental health struggles. I could only sleep 4 hours a night. I had physical problems with my body due to my medication, so I still had a host of problems. So I came up with this idea. When I first got kicked out of the university, my grades suffered. I failed a semester because I was struggling with my mental health and I didn't get any mental health help. So my grades were suffered. But as the semesters went on, I ended up improving my marks. In my final semester, I got 85%, which is still lowballing me. I should have got 90%, but apparently he gave everybody an automatic 80% on their design project. I worked so hard on that design project. I wrote a 60-page report. I did a 20-minute presentation. In person, I came dressed in a suit. I spent hours and hours and hours after school working on the prototype board and debugging it and designing it and writing up the reports. I did it all by myself. We were supposed to be a team of 4. It ended up 2 people left, and the other person was not specialized at all in this field. So it was a team of 1, just me and the TA that was helping me. And I did it all by myself. But apparently everyone gets an automatic 80 because that's U of T. They're not about education. They're not about results. They're about their reputation. So let me tell you another story. After I graduated, I said this. I still have some mental health problems and I might not be able to find a job immediately. So I came up with a plan. I said, let me go to the registrar's office, and I said, I know my marks are not high collectively, but if you look at the end, my end semesters, they're increasing in the level of my grades. And let me apply to the Masters of Engineering. Now, there's 2 kinds of masters. There's a Masters of Science and there's a Masters of Engineering. Everybody wants to go into the Masters of Science. Why? Because you get to do research, you get a Masters of Science diploma, and you can from there you can go into a PhD and become a doctor, and you get paid to do that and study for 8 years doing research with other professors. I did not want to do that. I wanted to get a Master's of Engineering. Literally, it's just 1 year. You can't get a PhD with that. It's just 1 year program. You don't do research. You don't get paid for it. All you do is take more courses. It's like extra schoolwork, just a little bit more specifically tailored to a stream, and you get a master's degree in engineering. So you can go into industry and be a master, a little more educated in the technology side. And my idea was, let me write a letter saying, hey, I have these mental health struggles. If I can't find a job right away, let me do something productive with my time and attend a master's of engineering. You can see my marks are increasing. You can see I'm working hard. And let me do this part-time so I have something to occupy my time with until I get more mentally and physically healthy that I can start working a full-time job. They did not even want to hear this. They said, no, fuck you. Your marks are too low. Even though I told the office this, I said, let me write a letter. They said, we're not even going to hear it. Don't even bother trying. If you don't have an 85 average, you can't get into the master's program. I said, I want masters of engineering, not masters of science. They said, it doesn't matter. 85 is the cutoff. You don't have that. There's little to no chance at all you can get in. So once again, they said, fuck you. We care about our reputation. We care about our dropout rate. We don't care about teaching you. That's not what Mladineering Technology Institute is about. We teach you. We want to educate anybody who's willing to learn, anybody who's willing to sacrifice their time and make a commitment. And we pride ourselves in teaching you education. We don't fucking go for millionaire investors, dropout rates, profits, capitalistic profits, and billionaire investors. We are not some small-dicked university fucking presidents who care about their reputation so much that they need to overcome their low sense of self-esteem, self-worth, and just their small penises. That's not what we're about. We probably have big penises, and we know you came here for an education. So, if you're thinking about applying, I've told you the truth about U of T, the #1 ranked university in Canada, what their morals are, what they care about. They're probably going to sue me for this, but we're going to win because we're smarter in court, because we're educated, and we have freedom of speech. So, we are a rival competitive university. I know U of T doesn't like that. They don't like competition because they don't want anybody competing for top talent. They don't want anybody to succeed and then say, hey, look at me. I'm now a millionaire venture capitalist. I'm now a successful businessman, and I didn't graduate from U of T. So U of T doesn't get the recognition that their small penis deserves, you know? So go to Mladineering Tech, get an education. It's affordable. We'll work with you. We pride ourselves on teaching you, not the low sense of self-worth and the ratings that other Canadian universities, especially the most fucking well-known University of Toronto, portrays. So, that's me, your dean, speaking to you. Until Monday, have a great day.